Okay, now that the draft is done and the picks are in, let's review over the top 10 picks of the NBA draft in 2020. So the first one is the Minnesota Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards, as far as his talent goes, that was a good pick. But as far as the draw and the box office, it was a bad pick. I honestly had LaMelo Ball going number one simply because, like I mentioned before in my other videos, that the Minnesota Timberwolves are trying to sell their team and they're trying to get their team to get recognized this year with national coverage. So I don't really think they're going to have a lot of national games with Anthony Edwards. But hey, you never know. He might be the talent that they needed to get them over the hump and get them into the playoffs. Now, the number two pick was James Wiseman to the Golden State Warriors. Now, unfortunately, Klay Thompson is injured. We don't know exactly what type of injury it is. But with Klay Thompson being injured, it didn't really matter if he played or not. As far as with the pick for James Wiseman, honestly, I thought they was going to try to pick a shooter, a shooting guard, maybe somebody like Tyrese Halliburton that can actually put up numbers, but they didn't. They actually picked James Wiseman because they was in desperate need of a big man that can run the floor, and this guy is the David Robinson of our generation. So I think this is going to be a great, great fit for the Golden State Warriors. The number three pick was LaMelo Ball going to the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Charlotte Hornets really have a logjam with the point guards. They got Teddy Rozier over there. They have Devonte Graham, and they're pretty much covered when it comes down to the point guard. But honestly, I think they couldn't afford to lose out on Lamelo Ball, especially the fact that Lamelo is going to a team that really doesn't get a lot of national recognition, and he can bring that draw to them, and plus help them get to the playoffs because he is a willing passer. He's a great, great athlete. He's 6'7". He could probably play the one or the two or even a three. But honestly, I think this was the best move for Charlotte, and I think they're going to make the playoffs next year. Now, the number four pick went to the Chicago Bulls. They picked Patrick Williams. Now, excuse me, but Patrick Williams, I never really seen play college ball, but they said that he's a great power forward slash small forward. So I think he's a great addition to the Bulls. But if I was personally picking it, I would have picked Denny Avia. And Denny is a perfect slasher. He's not a great shooter, but he's definitely someone that can fit right in with the Chicago Bulls at this time. But hey, they picked a pretty good power forward, so I think it should be good for them. They probably need a great point guard. I don't know if White is actually a good point guard right now. I think he's more of a shooting guard, but they should have a great chance of making the playoffs as well. We'll see what happens. Number five pick went to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they picked Isaac Okoro. Now, Okoro, I'm not 100% sure on him either. He's definitely a good player as far as college ball, but as far as the pros, this could be an issue. I'm not really sold on him too much. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defensive player as well, but I don't think he's going to make a huge jump in the NBA. That's just my personal opinion. Now, the sixth pick went to the Atlanta Hawks. They picked Emeka Okongwu. Now, Emeka is also a great player in college. Once again, I don't know if it's going to really move the needle. What they needed was another shooter. I think someone that can definitely put up points, put up threes, also run the floor. But then again, they do have Hunter over there right now. They got Cam Reddish. So they might have needed a defensive stopper, and Okongwu is actually a pretty good defender. So this might have been a move for defense, and I think he can stop some of the wings that can actually put up points against the Atlanta Hawks. So I think Atlanta Hawks was like dead last when it came down to uh, protecting the rim and also getting points. So this is definitely something I think that they needed with the defender, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Okay, number seven pick is for the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Pistons pick Killian Hayes. Now, I was really super high on Killian Hayes, especially towards the end of this draft. Like, I mean, as far as this like mock draft season, when everyone was putting their picks in, I looked over Killian Hayes' work, and I said, you know what, he's actually a pure point guard, and whatever team gets him, he's going to make a huge difference. He reminds me a lot of Tony Parker, and not just because he's French and stuff like that. But I'm saying as far as his game, when Tony Parker first came into the NBA, he played a true point guard, pure point guard position, and I think Killian has a lot of the same attributes. So I think he's going to be a great point guard, and he can definitely make a All Star team in his career. I don't know when, but probably in the next couple years, he probably is going to make an All Star team. The number 8 pick went to, of course, the New York Knicks, and they selected Obi Toppin. And Obi Toppin is a phenomenal athlete. He reminds me a lot of Amari Stoudemire or Sean Marion back in the days. But the problem I have with this pick is that they needed a point guard. And they had a lot of people after him that went in the draft, but they didn't get that point guard position. I think Obi Toppin was kind of a knee jerk selection. And what I mean by that is like they said, okay, if we don't take him now, he probably is going to go to the Wizards, so he's going to the Suns. And I think they try to hurry up and try to grab him before he went to the team. But even if they found a point guard or someone that can move the ball, like a Denny Avia, if they got Denny, that would have been perfect because he can actually play the point forward role. And just like you have LeBron or even Luca, who's like a tall guard and get the ball out because he's actually really good at that. He's not a great shooter, but he's definitely perfect for what New York needed. Now, the number 9 pick was Denny Avia, and everybody was super high on him in the beginning, but kind of died down towards the end because, of course, they said he couldn't shoot. They said his mechanics isn't really where it needs to be and stuff like that. But he, in my opinion, is a project, but he's going to be worth it. I say this: he's going to be one of those European players that's going to be in the league for a very long time because he's 6'9", 6'10". He can definitely slash, get to the rim. Plus, he just has the it factor, almost like with Luka Doncic. He's not quick, he's not crafty with his moves, but he can get to the rack, and plus he can pass. Okay, so I think he's going to be in the league for a very long time. Now, of course, the number 10 pick is Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith to the Suns. It fits, especially with Chris Paul being there now. Chris Paul is definitely going to be somebody that's going to give people the ball. I think he's going to be great at shooting and also getting to the rim. So this is a perfect pick for the Suns. So that's the top 10 picks of the NBA draft. My opinion is this draft was definitely loaded with a lot of talent. I think if they would have um, continuously uh, push this draft further back, it would have became even more talent because I think more people would have opted in. But I love the fact that this draft is fitting right at a perfect time because I think in about 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, we're going right into the NBA season. Well, the beginning of preseason, I should say. And it's going to be exciting to see these young talents out there on the floor. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you for listening to this. And like, comment, and subscribe below. And I'll see you guys on